In this video, I'm going to talk about the 3 things that I wish I would have known when I first started in music. These are just a couple things that have been on my mind lately, things that I have realized have really made a big difference in my mindset and the way that I think about things, and that if I would have known these earlier, they would have saved me a lot of time and a lot of wasted effort and would have made things just a little bit simpler. Okay, so the first thing I would say is to define your vision early on. So think about, what do I actually want to do in music? And I would honestly put a lot of thought and time into this. So grab a piece of paper and a pencil, go for a walk, whatever your thing is, and really think about, okay, in 5, 10, 20 years, what does my life look like? What is the vision that I have for my life? And think about, okay, what projects am I working on? What does my day-to-day life look like? What am I excited about? Those types of things, because those will help guide the path that you eventually take, because each path is different. So if you're if you want to be an artist, a recording artist, and put out songs on Spotify, that's one path. But you could also want to have a band and tour and play shows. You might want to just create video tutorials on YouTube with some things that things that you like, and help other people learn. Maybe you want to make music for film. Each of those paths are completely different, and going down one of them is going to limit your ability later without having to start over. And so I would avoid these tangential paths that might seem appealing because they might get you money quicker, or they might bring you success faster. And so if this is what you actually want to do, but you're like, well, this will get me money faster, or bring me success, and then I can pivot later, that just does not work. At least for me, it does not. And that's the path that I took. I went through so many different paths, and none of them worked until I finally realized that, I want to be an artist. And once I actually did that and figured out that that's actually what I wanted to do, my productivity skyrocketed, my drive increased, and I was able to actually make serious progress fairly quickly, because I finally stumbled across what actually drove me, what actually was motivating me. So number 2, and this is the toughest one. This is one that took me years to learn, and I'm still learning it, but it is this: embrace the awkward phase. Do not try to jump over the awkward phase of learning your craft. You are going to be bad at what you do. It's just inevitable. Just embrace it. Don't try to jump over it. There's something about learning and growing and struggling in front of other people that is so incredibly valuable, and you're losing out on so many lessons and so much knowledge if you try to shy away from just embracing the awkward phase. Now, this shying away takes 2 forms, I feel like. The first one is tutorial hell. This is where you just watch as many tutorials as you can. You think that if you just accumulate all the knowledge, that once you finally start putting it into practice, you'll be good at it and you'll have completely jumped over the awkward phase. It does not work. The second one is hiding. You think that I can just hide? This is the one that I did, by the way. Hide, work on things under the radar where no one knows what you're up to for years. And then finally, after the years, you will pop up like a daisy in the snow, and you will wow and amaze all your friends and family who didn't even know that you worked on music at all. Both of these are just procrastination. Do not fall for it. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to release every single thing. I'm not saying that if you're just brand spanking new, you can barely play guitar, you can barely sing, you can barely write lyrics, you're writing your first or second song, that you should be releasing those. And maybe you should. I have no idea. I can't make that judgment for you, but I will just say that you should release songs way before you think you are ready, because you will never feel ready for it. And so if you just start early, probably before you maybe should, you'll just learn and grow so much faster. The other thing about this is that if you only do part of the thing, maybe you're a producer and you just produce a bunch of songs, as soon as you get to the point where you think, okay, I'm ready to release these songs, let's get people to listen to those songs. You know how much marketing knowledge you have? You have this much. This is your production knowledge. This is your marketing and social media knowledge. and you're just totally lopsided. And so you have no idea how to get people to listen to your stuff. You have no idea what visuals to use, no idea on all of these really valuable things that you need to learn in order to get people to listen to your music. It's not just one thing. So if you spend the time going from 0 to 100, 100 being released and out in the world, you will learn so much more than going 0 to 50, 0 to 50, 0 to 50, 0 to 50. There's just something about that last 50, 40, 30% that is just invaluable that you will need to learn regardless. So you might as well do it when you're also beginner with the music so that they can all kind of rise up together and you can learn everything concurrently. So like I said, this is the hardest one. I'm still learning this one. I still struggle with it. And one of the big struggles for me specifically was dealing with friends and family, because I had no idea what they would think. Was I going to get weird questions from my uncle or aunt during Thanksgiving? Was I going to get texts from my parents about lyrics I had written? Were my friends even going to like what I was releasing? All of this stuff. You have all of these questions, and so it just makes it so much harder. So what I would do is I would just make a separate account. Create an account that you don't tell anyone about. Maybe it's a social media account so you can practice social media. Maybe it's a band name that you don't tell anyone about, and you just release under those things. You don't tell any family or friends. It greatly lowers the bar, and hopefully it can get you over the anxiety of actually posting something, actually releasing something, and it's just so much easier. That's what I did. I spent so much time not posting anything because I was worried about what friends and family would say. And when I finally created a TikTok that I didn't tell anyone about, I was able to get so much great feedback. I started getting comments from random strangers saying they liked my music. I was able to figure out which parts of my songs people liked, which parts they didn't like, which visuals worked, which visuals didn't work. I just learned so much just by taking those things from 0 to 100 and just doing the full thing instead of just getting stuck in just doing the first section, the part that was easy, the part that I actually enjoyed. That last section is also important. You're just going to have to embrace it and release things way sooner than you think you should. So number 3 is to create an MVP. That stands for minimum viable product. What I mean by MVP is to create a system, a schedule, whatever it is that you can adhere by and don't add anything else. So a bad example of this was when I was learning how to market my music. I spent tons of time researching and created the perfect content calendar, the perfect release schedule, and I did 0 of it because I burnt out almost instantly because it had so many things on it that I couldn't complete it all. So this is what I would do instead. Watch a few videos on whatever you're trying to do, and then just pick out a couple things that you feel like you can do that can move you down the path that you're trying to move down. And don't do anything else. And make changes here and there. If something doesn't work, tweak it a little bit. If this doesn't work, find something else. And experiment around with what you have. And as you do this, you'll get better at it. And then is the time to start adding new things to your plate. Slowly, slowly, slowly add things to your plate. So in my case, I had all of these amazing things, but I whittled it down all the way to just 3 things. So this is the 3 things that I do. This is my MVP. 1, I release 1 single every 8 weeks. 2, I release 1 YouTube video every single week. Number 3, I do 3 low effort TikToks every single day. And that's it. I don't do anything else. That's not one of those 3 things. And you feel free to just steal that if that works for you. But maybe change it to fit your vision a little bit better. Maybe you'd rather do EPs or albums and not singles. Maybe you don't want to focus on YouTube at all. Maybe you want to do more high quality Instagram reels, so you do that instead. The only thing is it needs to fit 2 criteria. 1, it lines up with your vision, whatever that vision is. And 2, you can do it consistently. So for me, those 3 things that I have, they line up perfectly with my vision. It's exactly what I want to do, and it works for me. I can do it consistently. We're great. If anything doesn't work, if you can't be consistent at it, if it doesn't line up with your vision, chuck it out. Those are the only things you need to worry about, and I think you should be good. So those are the 3 things. Number 1, define your vision early on, embrace the awkward phase, and create an MVP. So I really appreciate you for watching this video, for getting through the whole thing. If you have things that you have learned lessons that you have learned or things that you are struggling with. I would love to hear about them in the comments below. This isn't a standard typical video that I would do, but these are just some things, like I said earlier, that have been on my mind that I felt like I wanted to share. If you enjoyed this video, I would appreciate a like and a subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.